You ever wonder what's really going on inside a business seller's head? They're not just selling a company, they're actually broadcasting little tells, like in poker, subtle cues that most buyers completely miss. If you can read them, you'll know the truth about the deal before the ink's even dry on the NDA. Hi, I'm John Stoddard from DealFlowSystem.net. I've helped buyers close over 33 million in small business deals and raise more than 50 million in funding. If you're working full time and want to buy a profitable business without wasting years on junk deals, this video is for you. All right, number one, the first 5 minutes will tell you everything. When a seller starts talking, you're not just trying to gather facts. You're reading a live, unscripted human being who has something to gain and something to hide and something to protect. I've had sellers tell me more with their face than their financials. One guy wouldn't turn on his Zoom camera. Broker had his camera on. I had my camera on. Seller flat out refused. That's like showing up at a poker table with sunglasses and a hoodie pulled tight. You're hiding something. And in business, hiding something isn't usually a small thing. And another had his camera on, but he could not make eye contact. The second I started asking about customer concentration, his eyes darted off to the side like a kid caught cheating on a test. That's not shy. That's discomfort, maybe telling a lie. Charlie Munger once said, "The human mind is a lot like the human face. It reveals itself if you know where to look." And he's right. Number two, what they don't say is louder than what they do say. Numbers are important, but tone, timing, and omissions, they're even louder. Ever seen a seller proudly walk through their P&L but skip a month? Or they speed up when they hit a certain light item? That's like a crime scene detective finding big clean spot in a dusty room. Someone wipe that clean. Ray Dalio talks about radical transparency. Sellers kind of do the opposite. They practice strategic opacity. They reveal what makes them look good and quietly bury what doesn't. I would rather see messy, honest books than pristine, too perfect ones. You can work with messy. You can't work with fiction. Number three, the psychology of why they're selling. Most sellers will give you polished, socially acceptable reasons for selling, like I'm retiring, new opportunity, or burnout. But the real reasons, they're usually sitting under the surface like rocks under calm water. Here are the big ones. There's death. Their death may be impending because of cancer or something, a spouse's, or a close family member's. I'm not being cynical here, it's just reality. Divorce. Half the assets are about to be split, and selling is the cleanest way out. Or they're disinterested. They've mentally checked out. They're tired of doing what they're doing for 20 years. But they haven't physically left yet. And then you have the generational difference. They're aging out. They just want stability, a smooth handoff, or maybe even a legacy play. And then there's Zoomers and younger gen XY sellers. They're always chasing the next shiny object. They love to build, not the maintenance part of it. All right, number four, the retirement lie. Let me give you a real one. One of my students bought a business from a guy who swore he was retiring. I mean, he swore, he said that in the interview. Moving back to the East Coast to slow down and enjoy life. 6 months later, that guy opened a competing business right down the street. That's why I hammer on having non-compete clause with teeth, not the feel-good kind, the kind that's enforceable, with clear geographic and time restrictions, and real penalties, punitive penalties to back that up. Warren Buffett once said, if you don't know who's on the other side of the table, you're in trouble. The truth, sometimes you do know, and they're still trying to screw you. Number five, how they talk about the future. Here's one of my favorite tells. Ask them, where do you see this business in 5 years? If they light up and start painting a picture, even if they're selling, it means they still got pride in it. If they shrug or give you a vague, oh, it'll do fine, they've been out mentally for a while. Ray Dalio would call this reading the believability in someone's answers. I did an interview with an M&A advisor, and she said, can you tell if somebody's really sell? Is when they start painting a picture of what their life looks like after they sell the business. You can feel if they're in it or not. Number 6, pressure points. Sellers under pressure will always slip, guaranteed. You just have to give them enough rope. I once asked a seller why they wanted to close within 30 days. Instead of the usual 60, 90, their answer, we just want to get this wrapped up. Then later, in diligence, we found they had a major supplier contract expiring in 45 days that they hadn't renewed. That contract was worth 40% of their business. Sometimes urgency is legit. Sometimes it's a ticking time bomb they're trying to hand off and just bow out. Number 7, the negotiation dance. Negotiations are where the poker faces drop. You'll notice some sellers will bend on price, but won't budge an inch on certain assets or relationships. That's a tell. If they won't let go of a vendor relationship, maybe it's because it's personal, maybe. Or maybe it's because it's fragile and will break once they're gone. Warren Buffett once walked away from a very profitable company because the owner wouldn't agree to a simple transparency clause during the transition. It wasn't about the clause. It was the signal. If they won't be open with me now, why would they trust you after I own it? That's kind of the rule of law. Number 8, the post-sale spirit. You can spot a seller who cares about a smooth transition versus one's like halfway out the door. The good ones light up when they talk about onboarding you, introducing you to clients, teaching you the quirks of the business, and the bad ones, they wave it off. You'll figure it out. Those are the sellers who will leave you with a set of keys, a password, and just say, good luck. All right, I'm going to close now. But sellers always have tells. If you can spot them in their body language, in what they say, in what they don't say, you can protect yourself from bad deals and spot the good ones faster. If you want the playbook I use to help buyers go working full-time to own in a profitable business, grab my book. It's in the description down below. It's packed with the exact strategies I help buyers close on $33 million in deals and raise $50 million in funding. You don't have to figure this out alone. You can shortcut the learning curve. I'm John Stoddard, and I'll see you on the next one.